Greetings, Gator fans. I'm Brian Montgomery. Today I'm joined by Jim Driggs of the Allegheny men's basketball squad as we preview the 2014-15 Gator campaign. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Brian, for having me.
So looking at last year, the Gators were able to pick up a big win at home here to close the campaign, kind of giving the squad momentum heading into this season. For that group of returners, what did they pick up from last year, and how do you think they'll be able to apply it to the 2014-15 season?
Well, I think, we were in a lot of close games last year. Obviously, our record wasn't great. It was nice to win your last game. It's always nice to win your last game. But, I think our guys, hopefully, I think what we've been talking about a lot this preseason is the importance of every possession, right? Basketball is made up of a number of possessions, and no one is more important than the other. And we have to start winning some of these close games that we're in. And it was nice to win that last game last year, but we've got to consistently be ready to compete for 40 minutes and understand the importance of each offensive and defensive possession. We need to do that every game, from the start this Saturday to the end in February. So we've been talking a lot about the mental approach, the mentality that you need to have to compete, especially in a league like the NCAC, which is so competitive on the men's side. You have some great storied programs here, so it'll be interesting to see where we are Saturday night.
And so you've been working in your preseason now for a couple of weeks, but the team was able to kick it off even earlier on in the year with an international trip. Can you kind of tell us about that?
Yeah, so one of my goals since I got here a few years ago was to give my players an international experience. I did it as a player, and it was a great experience, something I remember to this day. And we were fortunate to get a chance to go to Costa Rica for 10 days. From a basketball perspective, it gives us 10 days to practice before we leave. We got down there, we played 4 games. The competition surpassed my expectations, so they were competitive games. And it's a great experience from that standpoint, but also you get to experience a new culture, learn, so it was educational, and it was fun. So it kind of, our goals were try to get better as a team, experience a new culture, and have fun. And I think we did all 3 of those.
The Costa Rica trip was great. It was one of those once-in-a-lifetime experiences that not only helped us as a basketball team, but kind of was an eye-opening experience for everyone involved. Experiencing a new culture, having the language barrier, having to deal with that kind of adversity together with a group of guys for 10 days was a really great experience.
Being in Costa Rica, being the foreigner in a place with that many people, and it's only your coach and your teammates. It was tough, but I think as a team we really enjoyed it. We kind of really bonded. Because when you're kind of isolated in a situation like that, you have to rely on each other for everything. Can you help me read this? Can you help me with this? And I think we did really good with that. And we actually worked really hard while we were in Costa Rica. I think we worked out every day, but one day down there.
And now looking specifically at the Gators for this season, starting at the guard position, Josh Valente coming back as a key component of this team. What should Gators expect from that guard contingent, and who should be expected to make a massive contribution?
Yeah. Well, Josh has been a guy for 2 years who's obviously he's averaged double digits. So we expect a lot of things out of Josh Valente. He's a senior now and a captain. Evan Zabriskie, who emerged, really the latter part of last year. I think over the last 6 games, he averaged right around 13 points a game. He's had a very good preseason. He's someone that we're going to need to rely on heavily, both offensively, and then he's probably one of our best rebounders. He's about 6'5", 6'6", very long. So he's going to be a key part of who we are. And then we have a newcomer, Connor McCumber, who we'll rely heavily on at the point guard position to make good decisions for us. Defend the other point guard, and just make sure we're getting a shot every time down the floor. Hopefully, he can bring some toughness to our team, which I think he's done. And our better, those are 3 of our guys that are key for us. Our key guys have to make plays when the lights are on, and in order for us to be successful. And I have confidence that they'll do that, as we get started.
And then looking over at the forward position for the Gators, Brandon Smith Chris Milan, both of which have played several years for the Gators. Looking at that forward spot, what should Gator fans expect?
It'll be the first time that those guys actually really played together. Ironically, in that we have a senior class that this will be the first year, if everyone's healthy, that in 4 years that they've actually played an entire year together. So that's unbelievable almost if you think about it. That's a position that we need. I told those 3 kids the other night that we need double-digit points and rebounds from that position, right? We've struggled to rebound the basketball, especially in the conference, and they're going to have to really help us on the glass. I mean, it's a gang mentality. We have to be a team that really embraces all 5 guys going after the ball. But it starts with those guys. I mean, they happen to be down low more than others, and we need big things out of that position. It's Andrew Sestina, it's Brandon Smith, it's Chris Milan. Those guys have to perform for us this year.
At this point, it's all about doing whatever I can, personally, individually, on the court to make sure that we're in the best position to win and that, we do win these games. My career at Allegheny has, it's been more losses than wins, but with this group this year, I can see that it's going to change.
And we know that we're better than last place and we're better than 9th place in the conference. We know we can compete with these teams, and I think that's the #1 thing, is that I personally want to do whatever it takes to help this team be successful, to help my teammates be successful, and to be able to compete for an NCAC championship.
And the season starts off for the Gators at the 3rd annual Greg Richards 08 Memorial Tip-Off Tournament. Always a great event to start the season here at the David V. Wise Center, and then just a slew of non-conference games before you get into the NCAC slate. For you, what are some of those non-conference games that you're looking forward to?
Well, obviously, it tips off this weekend with the Greg Richards Memorial Tournament. It's been a great event for us. We've been fortunate the last 2 years to win both our games in that tip-off tournament, and it's a great weekend to remember an alum in Greg Richards, who unfortunately lost his battle to cancer at a way too young. So it's a special event for me. It's even more of a special event, I think, for the alumni and Greg's family. So we're honored to continue that tradition. But yeah, I mean, we want to come out and play well. I mean, I think that's the big thing, is every day we want to get better, and we don't want to ever stay the same. And we want to start. We need to win close games, and our goal is to get better this preseason every single day to prepare us for one of the most competitive conferences in the country. So we really look at how we progress each day, and are we getting better? It's a very difficult non-conference schedule, very challenging. We open up at home in the tournament, but then we go down to Juniata, who's Greg Curley's an alum, and he's done a great job down there, and they're a very good team. Carnegie Mellon, Teal, Penn State Barron, Stevenson from the Baltimore, Maryland area, and those teams are teams that will compete for NCAA tournament berths. So we have our hands full in our non-conference schedule, but it's hopefully going to prepare us for the NCAC.
Yeah, and you mentioned that NCAC, perennially one of the best conferences in the nation. We've seen that with a number of teams ranked in the top 25 polls every single year. When you finally reach that NCAC stretch, what are going to be the keys to help the Gators improve their standings in the conference?
Again, I think it's the importance of understanding the value of each possession, our ability to handle adversity. I mean, you play a 25-game season, you break that down game by game, minute by minute, possession by possession. Things aren't always going to go your way. Our ability to stay together, to stay true to who we are, both offensively and defensively, and not move away from that is critical. And again, the belief in yourself and each other, your teammates, that we're going to be okay, that we'll weather the storm and continue to fight on. Like I said a couple times now, we've got to start winning some of these close games.
I know personally, I feel it, I know Evan feels it, and I think as a team, we know we can make the NCAC tournament, and we can go deep into the tournament. I think that would be successful, a successful season for Allegheny. Winning record, making the NCAC tournament, making a run in the tournament. And I think that would be, for us this year, that's our goal, and that would make us a successful team.
All right, well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Brian, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and best of luck to you this upcoming season.